Coach, you've been there since 2017. You took over, based on the research that I did, it was a tough couple of years from 2017 and up, right? But you stay still and you work extremely hard to accomplish a lot through, the upcoming years. Coach Sutton lead the Tigers to the Ohio Valley Conference Volleyball Championships in 2022, 2023. Congratulations on that. You're going to take me over how was the experience, because my understanding based on what I got from Scott is that you were picked last in the conference last year, right? But you followed through and you make it through it, and you won the conference, and that give you an automatic shot to the NCAA tournament, which you guys play against Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was the number 3 stop. So, Coach. Welcome to the episode. My pleasure meeting you. Ask the coaches how everything started with you before we get to know more about college recruiting, your style of recruiting, how everything started with volleyball.
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me here. For me, this is, I think, a big honor, because I, too, want to continue to push our sport forward and to help educate anybody in regards to recruiting.
What do you see the difference between, the recruiting process on, back in the day when you jump from your high school to the junior college, from the junior college to university, and nowadays, what do you think is the difference between?
Well, I can tell you one thing, commitment and work ethic. As a student athlete, you have to have that commitment to put the work in to being a part of a program. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have, let me just send a video so you can see it. Like, we would legit have to put the video in an envelope and mail it off. That was the recruiting then. And I graduated high school in 1999, so we're talking about the turn of the century. So but I think now, from the coach's standpoint, for coaches, it's a little bit easier to get access to recruits, because before you would have to drive, you would have to legit be in the gym with them, or you would have to wait for that tape to arrive.
But you took over, like I said, like I mentioned before, on a rough route, path. Let's put it that way, right? On the take me over how you overcome that, because coming from losing season, how you overcome through all those scenarios when it comes to recruiting. Because I know, it's a great university. It's a public university, right? You have over what, 7,000 students right there, 7,500, something like that.
Somewhere in there, yes.
Somewhere in there. So it's a big. It's not a small school. So take me over how you overcome these scenarios, because from that to where you are right now, hands down.
Honestly, it has not been an easy journey. Again, I just more so, once I commit to something, I am wholeheartedly committed to it. And I feel like those student athletes committing to me and fighting for me to be in a position that I wasn't even sure I even wanted to, take, gave me the push and the courage that I needed to, hey, let's go ahead and give this a go again. And, the university for me is great. I've always felt like if I can recruit player of the years to South Carolina State in Orangeburg, South Carolina, I can recruit anybody to Nashville. So recruiting has always been, for me, my bread and butter. I feel like I have a keen eye for talent. I know exactly what type of athlete I'm looking for. I know exactly what type of athlete,
it's
can
best
win a
fit.
championship.
It's best fit for the program that you have, and like with with the girls and everything you have around
Correct.
you. Definitely.
Correct. And it's not just on court. You're also looking for, character traits. You're looking for, more so like who's going to work hard. Like a lot of things go into play with recruiting, and I don't think people really notice that. It's not just what they can do on the court, because you still have to have a student athlete. Still got to have somebody who's going to, be focused and be disciplined. And one of my mottos is, if you're not disciplined in that classroom, then I for sure can't expect you to be disciplined on the court. And at least try academically, because if you come in trying, you might not come in with a 3.0 or a 4.0, but I can guarantee you, if you buy into the program, you will leave with a 3.0. So, yeah, recruiting for me was a big thing. And I was just going to say, I knew if I could recruit my kids here, I would be good. Even though I was an assistant for 3 years, you're still under a head coach. And I did not remove anybody from that team. So I had to really roll with the punches of 3 years, 3.5, roughly 3 years with a team that I may have helped recruit, but really wasn't mine. And that was tough. It was a hard transition, but I feel like once we got to the base of my recruits, that's when I think we started to really see.
So technically, with the base started probably on 2022 for you, or 21, late 21, right? That's when probably you started saying, okay, this is it. This is the type of athletes that I need. This is what I'm looking for, and this is what I'm going for. So it started 20. Excellent. Now, what would be the first? Take me over on that recruiting standpoint. What would be the first take that you see on an athlete? Because how soon can they approach you? How long do you see them, or you continue the progress, checking on them in order for them to be engaged with you? Because I mean, and I know for experience, dealing with sometimes with young athletes, teen athletes, it could be sometimes challenging. Let's not call it difficult, but it's challenging, right? So how that will work with you?
Well, I kind of set up a system that I feel like has helped us. And for my system, it can't just be me recruiting these kids. Like, I'm going to see the base talent, but a lot of the times the things that I don't see is, like who they really are at the core, character. So like the players are a part of that recruiting process as well. And they pretty much help with the, okay, nope, coach, not a good fit. Nope, they not going to be competitive. Like, they just said it's just a game that, or, oh, they're, or no, this kid's going to be good for us because she does this, this, and this. They're going to have conversations with the recruits that we would never have. So how it works for me, I do the initial conversation. From the initial conversation, then we'll set up a call where they will then talk with some of the players.
Well, that's very good, because it's part of who you are. Because I think sometimes, I don't know, your budget, maybe like you mentioned, Power 5, the Big 12, all these guys, they have big budgets, right? In order for them to go and look for the athletes and travel, even going to Europe to look for athletes. Which I know you have a couple of a few actually international athletes in your roster, right? Take me over. Take me over on that particular end. How you are looking for those international athletes.
Well, the international athletes I have on my team now, It all started with just one kid, and that one kid is kind of like, you know how you pull a string and a thread just keeps going. Kind of happened like they were all attached to each other. But before my international kids, one is Ola Rojeka. She was the first kid I recruited from Navarro College. And coming from Navarro College, she had just committed. She signed. We were good. I was excited. She was going to be my first 6'3" kid that, you know, I had recruited here to Tennessee State. And before we got off the phone, she was just like, "Hold on, coach, do you need a libero?" And at the time, I was like, I need a DS, but I was looking for a walk-on. Just so happened, I had an open scholarship, and I was like, "What do you have?" And she's like, "One of my teammates, she's really good. She was supposed to go Power 5. She doesn't have a scholarship." You know, it's really hard for liberos and DSs to really get scholarships. And they're really good, but, you know, most universities only use one scholarship for defensive players.
Gotcha.
So I sacrificed a pin, an outside hitter scholarship, and brought in Carla Budall, who was a libero at Navarro College. What that did was it like double insulated my defense in the backcourt. Okay. So now not only did I have 2 liberos in the backcourt with Gina Rivero and Carla Budall, then I had full competition between both of them fighting for that libero jersey. It was great. It was great.
It was probably the best part of the recruiting right there.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, explain to me, you know, because volleyball, let me, you know, or make me understand a little bit more about what's the best position, or let's not put it the best position, but the position that is the key for you. You know, like in soccer, I know soccer, probably the number 10 is probably the key guy, right? Maybe in baseball, the shortstop, it might be the key guy. Tell me in volleyball, what will be the key guy for you?
No, that's a good question. Never had it. I think everybody is key in their own way, but realistically, you can't play the game without the libero in defense. But every ball goes through that setter. And if you don't have a setter that can run the offense, it doesn't matter how many great hitters you got. It doesn't matter how great your defense is. If your setter does not know how to run the offense and is not moving that ball to the hitters that it needs to go to, nothing else. It doesn't matter how great your hitters are. So I'm going to say the setter.
The center. Beautiful, beautiful. And height. Is height important for you?
Yes. Last year, well, you know, I talked about bringing in Ola, who's our 6'3" pin. We brought Ola in 21. And bringing Ola in, I was like so excited because I always wanted us to get bigger in, you know, height-wise. Last year, I pretty much was determined that, you know, no matter what it was looking like, we were going to be better. So I put a height restriction on every hitter in the front row. If I'm recruiting you here, you have to be 6 feet or taller, or you have to touch 10-2. So that's pretty much what I went by. And the only hitter that is not 6 feet or taller is Celestial Miller. And, you know, she has a great vertical, very explosive power hitter. And yeah, I mean, it has worked. I'm going to stick with it because I feel like you can't coach height. So, you know, bringing in the type of height that we did last season, of course, it will continue on into this season. And I'm just hoping that not only will we get bigger, but it's just going to continue to bring great depth to our roster. To the roster.
So a 5, probably a 5'7", 5'8", it might be too short for the program. If it,
it will be
definitely right, definitely.
Yes.
So we need to look on those type of athletes. Probably need to check NAIA D3s.
Defensive,
you know.
But if they're a defensive player, yes, that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
But in regards to anybody trying to play in the front line, on the front
At the
row,
front line,
no.
no. You need to be in the 6+, pretty much. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to be competitive in my conference, then I'm gonna have to not only keep up with the conference, but also keep up with the NCAA. And we're not just trying to win conference, we're trying to, prepare and win rounds in the NCAA tournament. So yeah.
Excellent. And talk to me about now. Let's talk about the conference. How was that transition last year or the last season through, you were picked last, okay, on the conference, and you took over the conference. So take me over. What was the transition? Because I see you have a good record last year at home. So take me over a little bit on that, Coach.
We were prepared. We knew this probably isn't the first time the conference has picked us last. Let's just be clear about it. So we knew that the conference was not going to think of us as a top or middle pack team.
Gotcha.
And rightfully so, because the team has the success of the team had been inconsistent. The talent has always been here, but the success was inconsistent. So I pretty much prepared the girls before it even came out. Like, we had 7 or 8 new incoming players. I knew we were going to be good. I knew that we were going to at least be middle to middle top of the pack. That's where we should be. But nobody else was going to know that, because nobody else can see my vision but me.
Exactly.
So when the girls realized how good we were was in the summer, when everybody got here, and they were like, whoa.
Excellent.
And I had coaches on campus calling me, because, in the summer, we can't be in the gym with our team. Volleyball doesn't have summer access. So the women's basketball coach called me and was like, hey, is your team on campus? And I was like, yeah. He said, listen, I was in the weight room the other day, and I was just looking around like, what team is this?
Interesting.
And he said, I kept saying, and he said I had to stop one of them and be like, hey, what team are you on? And they were like, volleyball. And he was like, what? So I was like, yeah, it's like I got a lot of new kids. And he was like, yo, your team looks totally different.
It's ready.
The men's basketball coach called me one day and was like, hey, are you in the gym with your team? And I was like, no, it's summer. We don't have access. And he was like, your team is over there practicing like you're in the gym with them. I had to look around, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's great. And he was like, no, like, I don't think you understand. And I was like, so in that moment, it was good to know that your peers like see a difference. And I knew that we were, if we stayed healthy, if we were disciplined and doing what we needed to do, that we were going to make some noise. So
they start from the beginning with hunger, like, okay, we're ready. We're here. Let's stop that BS, and excuse me, that they keep picking us, last in the conference, and we're here ready, to make it happen, because that's what happened with you. So at the beginning, what about the middle of the season? When you were in the middle of the season, you were like, okay, we have a chat right here. That's when you realized that, or a little bit later than that?
No, we knew at the beginning that we were going to win. It sounds so like arrogant, but we knew at the beginning, because, some of these players have been on this team for 4 or 5 years, with the COVID year.
Okay.
So we already had been through the lumps, the losses. We knew all the bad stuff that had happened, what not to do. And we knew what it took to actually get to the top, get to the tournament. So we just kept saying, this is the year. This is the year. Like, this is the team. Like, it was a consistent conversation. So even at our first, when we played SEMO at SEMO, that was like our second or third conference game. We lost that game in 5. But at the end of that, in our post-game speech, I remember Gina Rivera-Ortiz in the locker room crying and telling the team, not this team. We're not going on a losing streak. I'm telling you right now, this is the team. And everybody was in there bawling because we lost third conference game of the season in 5. So I knew that they wanted it just as much as I did, but we just got to a place and point where it stopped being a if we win conversation, and it went to a when we win.
When we win. Okay.
When we win. When we win. Yes.
Excellent. And how you prefer, I mean, how you feel for the next upcoming season? How is the preparation right there?
I think the preparation is going well, especially knowing that, we have a really good recruiting class coming in. But not only that, we lost a lot of great weapons, but the core that's coming back is still equally as great.
Excellent.
So, I mean, I'm excited.
Excuse me, how many players you lost?
So I lost 6 players altogether. 4 of the 6 were leading. Like I lost my digs leader, I lost my kills leader, assist leader, as well as our ace leader. So when you really like, ooh, you like, whoa. But in saying that, returning, we still have, Ola Rojeka, who's the right side, 6'3" right side. We still have Kennedy Davis, who was all OVC and all tournament middle, who led the conference last year in hitting percentage, as well as we still have freshman Gabrielle Johnson, who led the conference in blocks at some point. So we have a lot of good things here happening already. And to add the recruits that are coming in, I think it's just going to be a huge plus for us.
Excellent.